A double bagel at Indian Wells. That's how Mirra Andreeva just started her title defense. A brutal 6-0 win that lasted barely 50 minutes, and suddenly the entire tennis world is whispering the same question. Could this 18-year-old actually do something no woman has done here in 35 years? Because if Andreeva wins Indian Wells again this year, she won't just lift another trophy. She'll match a record held by one of the greatest players in tennis history, Martina Navratilova. Let's rewind for a second. When Andreeva walked onto the court against Elina Svitolina, there were expectations. Defending champion, rising superstar, huge spotlight. But what followed wasn't a competitive match. It was a statement. She won 92% of her second serve points. She broke serve 6 times. And Sierra barely had time to settle into the rhythm of the match before it was already over. But here's why this result matters so much. Indian Wells has existed for decades. Legends have lifted the trophy here. Serena Williams played here. The best players in the modern era have dominated this tournament at different times. Yet somehow, incredibly, nobody has managed to defend the women's singles title since 1991. Only Martina Navratilova has done it. She won the tournament in 1990, then came back a year later and did again, beating Monica Seles in the final. Since that moment, nothing. 35 years of champions, and not one repeat winner. Not Serena, not Iga Swiatek, not the dominant champions of the modern era. Which brings us back to Andreeva. The scary part? We've already seen her beat the best players in the world at this exact tournament. Last year's run was ridiculous for someone so young. She beat Elena Rybakina, then Elina Svitolina, then Iga Swiatek in a dramatic semifinal, and finally Aryna Sabalenka in the championship match. That's not a lucky draw. That's a champion's path. And it makes this year's title defense feel very real. But here's where the story gets tense. The road ahead is not easy. Next up is Katerina Siniakova, a tricky opponent who can frustrate even elite players with her variety and court craft. If Andreeva gets through that, she could face Elina Svitolina again. And after that, possibly Iga Swiatek. Yes, the same Swiatek who has dominated this tournament before. So if Andreeva wants to join Navratilova in the record books, she'll likely have to beat some of the toughest players on tour again. And that's exactly why the storyline is so fascinating. Because just 2 years ago, Andreeva arrived in Indian Wells as a 16-year-old debutante. She lost a wild-card Katie Volinets in the first round after leading the second set and holding multiple set points. That moment looked like a missed opportunity. Now it looks like the beginning of a journey. From first-round heartbreak to defending champion to possibly rewriting tournament history. Personally, I think Andreeva has a mentality to do it. Her composure at 18 is honestly scary. She plays with the calm of someone who has already spent a decade on tour. And when she's confident, the shot making is fearless. But Indian Wells has humbled plenty of champions before. So the big question is this. Do you think Mirra Andreeva would defend her Indian Wells title and match Martina Navratilova's record, or will the pressure finally catch up to her? Let me know in the comments, because this could be one of the most fascinating stories of the entire tennis season. This is TennisIQ, where we break down the stories, rivalries, and moments shaping the future of tennis. If you love the game as much as we do, you're in the right place.